Hello and welcome back to another episode of Daily Draft Logs. This is episode number 22. Today we have a draft submitted to us by our friend choppedInHalf. Thank you so much for the submission. If you yourself would like to submit a draft video, you can do so in the comments or in my Discord channel that's linked in the description below. As always, please like and subscribe if you enjoy these videos. Let's get into this draft. All right, so here we are with our draft from choppedInHalf. The deck went 2 and 3, so let's see if we can help Chopped out here in retrospect and see if there's anything we could have done a little bit better in the draft here. We start off with a great pick one, pack one here. Unfortunately, Arena's not saving these logs, so we don't get to see what else was in the pack, but hard to imagine taking a common or uncommon over a card like Ezekiel's Chariot. It's the 4-mana 4/4 vehicle that makes 2/2/2 cats when it comes into play and crews for 4, and then when it attacks, you get to make a copy of a token you control. So really, really tough to beat once this gets going, and I love picking it up here. Pack one, pick one. Let's move on to the next pick. Well, for a second there, it looked like we were getting another Chariot. So we see a red rare here, Magda Brazen Outlaw, 2-mana 2/1. This card is actually overperformed for me. This kind of looks like a C level card, but I think it's a little bit better than that. When you end up with a few changelings, which is not hard to do, if you're in red-blue, you'll have Mistwalker. If you're in red-green, you'll have Masked Vandal. You know, +1/+0 on those is really quite nice. And then when they attack, you get treasures, which is also quite nice. And then you can sack 5 treasures to search for an artifact or dragon. Generally not super useful, but if you have some living equipment in your deck, that can work really well. Pull out a Dwarven Hammer and then just pay the 2 mana to make the creature and attach to it. It's pretty good. Or you can just find a card like a Mistwalker or any card that has changelings. So I actually like this card quite a bit. I've been a really, really big fan of red aggressive strategies lately, so I'm actually looking at this card as a potential pick here. Red-green aggro, red-white, and red-black are all super strong aggro decks, and then red-blue is a strong mid-range beat-down sort of deck. So I like being in red where possible, and I think we might be taking Magda here. Let's see what else is in the pack. These other uncommons are fine, not better than Magda, in my opinion. In terms of commons, we've got Horizon Seeker is probably the best follow-up to Ezekiel's Chariot, as it is a green card, but a little slow, a little clunky. It is solid, though. The fact that this draws you lands, the opponent feels like they have to trade with it. So if you're in any spot where you've got a reasonable attack, this can be a big problem for them. So, yeah, I think given what else is in this pack, I would be on Magda Brazen Outlaw here. Also a Bergstrider in the pack, I guess, worth mentioning, but I don't think I'm taking Bergstrider here. It's a bit early to be taking a 5-drop, and I think this is at its best in blue-white or blue-red. And again, you want to be aggressive. I don't know that this is at its best in like a blue-green multicolor snow deck. You'll play it, but I don't know if you want to put yourself in that direction right off the bat. So let's see what Chopped took. Chopped agreed, took Magda, love it. On to pick 3. Ooh, a little bit of a signal potentially here with Agar. This card's super, super powerful. It's 3-mana 3/3 whenever a creature opponent controls is dealt excess damage. Essentially, you draw a card because it probably was by a giant wizard or spell. So a trick that I see a lot of people falling for still in the format is, let's say they make an attack with a 3/3 into my board and all I've got are 3/3s and 3/2s, right? So all I can do is make a trade. But let's say I've got an Agar plus another random creature like a Vault Robber. Why would I be playing that? But let's say I was. And they attack their 3/3 into it. If I want to, I can block with Agar and Vault Robber on their 3/3, even though I don't need to. And they're obviously going to choose to kill Agar, but I'm going to get that 4 damage on their creature, and that's actually going to trigger this ability, so I will get to draw a card. And occasionally you can get people with changelings or other giants in situations where you double block when you don't actually need to, and you'll get that excess damage. So look out for that. Card's been super, super good. I would be pretty interested in it here. There's also a Clarion Spirit, and I don't think we're looking at anything else in the pack. This is my pick for the Mythic Uncommon of the set. This is one of my favorite cards, and I think it's super busted and makes white aggro absolutely what you want to be doing. So, I mean, if we're choosing between Spirit and Agar, Spirit's going to put us into white X. Agar is going to put us into red-blue X. We already have a red card. So it feels pretty close. I do like taking Spirit here because it lets us potentially still play Chariot. Whereas if we go into more of a red-blue Giants plan, we might have a tough time splashing Chariot just due to the mana. Whereas if we, take Clarion Spirit here, we could go red-white aggro, white-green aggro, or drop Spirit and continue being green-white, or green-red, I should say. And also it makes 1/1 tokens, which Chariot can copy and also will help to crew. So I think the pick for me here is Clarion Spirit and Chop Degrees right on. So a lot of talking so far, but I think these are all important things to mention about these cards. All right, cards in this pack that are jumping off the page to me. I like Mistwalker a good amount. Given that we didn't take Agar, I don't think we want it here, but if we had, I'd really be looking at it. Run Amok is always a card I like. People are trying to block with Mistwalkers and Sorul's Packmates and other cards like that, and Run Amok just gets right through all of that and lets you continue to beat down. So I really like Run Amok quite a bit, and nothing else is really standing out to me. I don't think I'm taking a snow land here. We have no reason to want snow. We're not blue. If this was a green-red dual land, I'd probably be taking it because we actually have green and red cards we actively want to play. But given that that is not the case, we are going to take Run Amok here. Okay, interesting that Chopped lands on Doomscar Oracle. So I see the synergy with Clarion Spirit for sure, and I do really like foretelling Doomscar on 2 and then casting Clarion Spirit plus Doomscar on 3. But I just don't think it's powerful enough to take over a card like Run Amok. But that's maybe personal preference. I also feel like you can wheel these. You can see here it's average pick 8.86. So this is going to come around a good amount of the time. Now, that being said, Run Amok, average pick 9.48, so people are obviously lower on Run Amok than I am. But I'd be taking it here. It's a bit more proactive. Doomscar Oracle's a bit medium. They both realistically allow you to double spell pretty consistently for Clarion Spirit. So, and I feel like red is a deeper color than white, so I'd be on Run Amok here. But I like the pick to go with Clarion Spirit. We're on the same page in the sense that we want to be playing aggro, and I like that a lot. On to pick 5. All right, so bit of a dry pack for us here. Bunch of black cards we're not interested in, although I do like Demonic Gifts quite a bit in the aggro double spell type decks. I don't think we're going to be taking it here. I'm looking at Wings of the Cosmos as a trick that people don't play around that can trigger your Clarion Spirit. I'm looking at Goldmaw Champion as a pretty underwhelming, underperforming white common, but it does let you curve out, and if you're beating down, that's where this card's at its best, obviously. So I can see taking that here. King Heralds isn't the worst either. We haven't seen much more reason to want to be green, but this card is kind of like a Run Amok that does a bunch of damage to your opponent. Of course, average pick 12.5. We could probably get it on the wheel. We maybe don't need to take it here. And Glacial Floodplain, pick 5. We might be thinking Snow Signal. Nothing in our deck says we want to be Snow, so I think I would just stay away from it, to be honest. I think I'm on Wings of the Cosmos here. It's just a bit of a weak pack, but I do like the 1-mana tricks, especially in Best of One, which is where we're at. Chop takes Goldmaw Champion. Works for me. Not a super important pick, I don't think. Ooh, nice looking pack here. We've got Fearless Pup, Firewalker, Shimmerdrift Veil is a snowland I'm interested in because it'll fix any 2-color deck or maybe even enable a splash, which is kind of where we're at here. We're looking like we're a 2-color, potentially 2-color red-white deck that's looking to splash a Chariot, so Shimmerdrift fits there. But man, Firewalker's pretty enticing. This card has just been an absolute house for me. I think I'm getting to the point where I'm on a little bit of a different page from the rest of the people that draft this format, but that's generally a good thing because it means I'm getting cards like Firewalker and Pup and Death Knell Berserker later than I should be, and that helps me build the decks that I'm trying to build. So it'd be a real tough pick for me between Firewalker and Veil, and I think I would land on Firewalker. In an aggressive deck like we're trying to make here, as good as Chariot is, splashing is gonna hurt you. Tap lands are gonna hurt you. If we end up trying to splash Chariot off of Veil into Forests, our mana is going to be really, really awkward. So I think I would just take the Stone Cold or Red Hot aggro card here to Scary Firewalker and just stick to the beatdown plan. Chop Degrees, love it, love it. Here's another shot at Run Amok for us, but we also have a Gold Vein pick in the pack, which I think is pretty important at this point. We're going to be making some 1/1 flyers. We've got a Firewalker that wants to get pumped up so it can punch through. We've got a Magda that cares about treasures. This does potentially open up a Chariot Splash to us as well, so I think this is a slam dunk gold vein pick, and I would have taken it over the decidedly medium Starnheim Courser, which actually gets better once you have picks, but pick is super overrated right now, so I don't expect to see these late, and I'd be taking it over a card like Courser. Now, if I was expecting to wheel picks and get them super late, then Courser becomes better to take here, but I would be on pick here. It's been very good in decks like this, and very medium in other decks where people think it's good and it's not. So here I think we just take Frostbite. I do like Code Spell Cleric a good amount with the double spell Spirit and stuff, but you kind of have to draw your cards in the right order, and sometimes things can be a little bit awkward. So I would just take the tried and true removal. 2 damage is still great. There's a lot of 2 toughness 3-drop creatures that you would like to get rid of, and the occasional 4/2 like Basalt Ravager that this kills. So love Frostbite here. Let's pick it up. Nice. Pick 9. Yeah, we'll take a Bound in Gold. This card is dropping for me. I like the Raptor over it at the moment, but every now and again you do need to remove a thing, and removal like this is going to be at its best when you are beating down, because they're going to have a 4/4 or something dumb like this that you need to get through, and you just Bound in Gold and continue on your way. So we'll take it here. Nice signal that white is available here, which we really like to see after picking up Clarion Spirit. Haven't seen much green, so I'm not expecting that we're going to end up green. Even if we do see it in pack 2, it might be a little risky to try to get into it, because in pack 3 it's going to get cut, as green just tends to be right now in the format. It's super hard to get into. Everybody wants to be multicolor snow. Everybody knows the pack mate's really good, so it's tough to be green right now. Let's round out this pack. Hoggy Mob I like over Snowplains. Starnheim Courser is great. Would be better if we had the pick. Run Amok is great. Scorn Effigy is probably not going to make the deck, and wow, a last pick Run Amok. Nice. So we know that red-white is open from our right side coming in pack 1 here, so I think we just stay true to red-white and try to ride it all the way. Unless something crazy happens, I think that's a great direction for us. Really am missing the gold vein pick at this point. I don't want to harp on that too much, but I think it's worth noting. On to pack 2. All right, so we got a Sigrid. I'm not 100% sure how much I like this card. Double white is the part that really just makes it tough for me. If you're trying to play a low curve deck, it can sit in your hand. I've cut it from aggro decks before. It is really good as it can save an attacking creature of yours if it gets into trouble and they've got a combat trick. It can also obviously remove their blocker, which is kind of nice as well. So depending on how you want to play it, if you want to put one of your own creatures underneath it, it does sort of protect you against wrath and removals and stuff like that. So there are times when you'll attack with, a couple of creatures. They'll go for a removal spell on your guy, and you'll just save it with Sigrid, and now you've got a 2/2 first strike that dies into whatever you saved. And also Protection from Gods is pretty relevant because there's a lot of changelings going around. So I like Sigrid here as a pick. Valkyrie Sword's worth bringing up. If you have a couple gold vein picks, this becomes pretty easy to cast and activate. I don't think we're taking it here, but it could be a thing. And Story Seeker is just a card I think is pretty underrated here. 2 drops are at a premium, and keyword like Lifelink just gets better and better when you put equipment and run amucks and stuff on your creatures, which is precisely what we're looking to do here. All told, looking like we're pretty heavy white. We don't have any red low drop creatures at the moment except for Magda, so I can see taking Sigrid here as a safe pick, but could also see taking Story Seeker as just like, we don't want our mana to be too awkward, but that's probably a little too aggressive, and we could probably wheel it. So Sigrid here, I like that pick. On to pick 2, we'll slam a Dwarven Hammer here. Best red uncommon. Does exactly what we want to be doing. We're going to be making 1/1 flyers. We can put it on those after its original creature has died. This card's super busted. It's also really good with the 2 Starnheim Coursers we picked up. It's going to cost 2 a lot of the time, so you can turn 4 this and have a creature attached to it. Really, really nice. Good pick. Love seeing that. Easy Demon Bolt here for us. We'll snap that up. Perfect. So far this draft's going great. So could just be a little bit of variance that we ended up 2 and 3, but I really like where our deck's at. All right, so the runes. This is kind of a tough one. The haste rune seems really good to me in the red rune, the one that gives haste +1/+0. Putting that on equipment is pretty dangerous. The white one is also okay. It doesn't impact your clock very well because it doesn't add power and toughness. But, you know, putting this on equipment can be pretty nice. Putting it on flyers can be okay. The fact that it draws you cards pretty good. The fact that Starnheim Courser makes it cost less is also nice. So a lot of factors here that make me want to take it. But even still, it doesn't feel amazing, and we might be looking to cut it at the end of the draft. I could see an argument for taking Shimmerdrift Veil over it here just to make sure we've got good mana for Sigrid. And I think that's what I would do, at least now that I'm looking at this in retrospect. I would be on Shimmerdrift Veil just to make sure our mana's okay. And Chop took the rune. Again, defensible pick. I just don't think the runes are that great at doing what you want to be doing. But like I said, the red one is pretty sweet if you got a bunch of Tormentor's Helms and stuff. All right, we're going to pick up a Cole here. That seems pretty good. So Cole is a card that looks absurdly powerful to me, and it never really performs that well. And I don't know if that's the way I'm building my decks or just luck or small sample size or what, but you know, it's a solid card. It's a 2-mana 2/2. If you have some equipment, it can make blocks a little bit weird for your opponent, but I would just caution against taking this super early and trying to build around it. I think it's like a good reward for being in this deck. I would pick it up here. We've got the rune, we've got Dwarven Hammer, but I'm actually looking at Battlefield Raptor and thinking, can we make this happen? I think this is the best white common right now, and I could see an argument for taking it, is all I'm going to say. Because Cole as a 2-mana 2/2 can be not highly impactful, whereas Raptor can pick up a hammer and just destroy your opponent. 5/2 first strike, flying, trample is a real beast. But I think we do take the Cole here. Really hoping to see that Raptor on the wheel, but that's going to be happening less and less as people catch on how good it is. This pack has nothing for us. We'll take Hoggy Mob and move on. Or Braggart, sure. I guess Braggart's the better pick. We don't have any 4s yet, but not a super meaningful pick, I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong. I like Fearless Pup here. I like Run Amok. Either could work. I think Pup is probably where we want to be with the hammer to give to it. Yeah, it's definitely overperformed. It's also going to double spell us into Clarion Spirit a bunch. So I'd probably take Pup here, but I could see taking Run Amok as well. Chops on the Pup. Love it. Again, kind of a pack full of nothing. I guess we'll take Provoke and hope not to play it. And rounding out this pack, Shackles. Now, I haven't played this card. I could see it being okay in aggro. Hoping not to play it. Wow, late Firewalker. That feels pretty good. Goldmont Champion, hope not to play. Mob, whatever. Okay, so we're just in a solid red-white deck, and we'll just see how this rounds out. Pack 3, pick 1. So I don't know what Chopped picked here. I would take Tormentor's Helm by a wide margin over Bound and Gold, though, if that's something that we're considering. I don't think Bound is that good. I've said that before. But Tormentor's Helm is going to be absurd with Cole. We've got flyers to put it on. This is exactly the type of card we want. Unfortunately, we don't have the Gold Vein pick to boost our equipment synergies even more, but this is exactly the card we want for a deck like this. We've got Firewalkers that want it. Cole wants it. Clarion Spirit makes 1/1 flyers that want it. We can put the rune on it. It's just, this is everything this deck wants to be doing. We should be taking it here. And Chop did. Nice job. Nice pick. And then similarly to what we were saying before, we can take rune here now. We've got a couple good equipments to put it on. And yeah, I think it'll do some work for us. It's going to cost 1 a bunch of the time, and it actually does give a power boost, which is quite nice. So I'd be on the rune here. Nice. Chopped agrees. And here we're just taking Fearless Liberator. We need 2 drops pretty badly. This is an okay one. You don't activate it all that often, but occasionally you do, and you get value, and that's pretty nice as well. So we'll take it. Ooh, this is an interesting spot. Do we take Dwarven Reinforcements as a way to produce multiple bodies for our equipment, of which we only have 2 at the moment with the Dwarven Hammer and the Helm? If we had taken the pick, Goldvein pick, this might be a bit closer. I think I'm on Immersturm Raider here, even though it's, you know, on power level it's a weaker card, but it gives you something to do on turn 2, which we still need. Reinforcements is good too. I think it's close. because you can foretell it. But I think with a deck like this, we want to get on board, and I do like how this protects you from mana flood later in the game. So I think I'm on Immersturm Raider over in Reinforcements, but that could be wrong on my part. Okay, so here we could take Valkyrie's Sword. We're kind of in the market for equipment. Occasionally we're going to get into a long game, and this is going to be absurd. It's going to cost 1 a good amount of the time, so that makes it much more palatable. I think all told we just take it here. Could see taking Veil for the mana considerations. Could see taking Seize the Spoil for, again, just being able to splash the extra white on Sigrid. I guess it's not really splash, but it kind of feels like it sometimes. And the flood protection. I think all told I would take Valkyrie's Sword here. Nice. Chopped agrees. Another Tormentor's Helm. We're going to slam that right on. Good pick. And I guess we're taking Braggart here over Dual Strike because we don't have very many instant sorceries. Yeah, hoping to not play too many of those. And just an absolute gift here. Battlefield Raptor. Yeah, nice. Chopped agrees. Again, a Braggart, I guess. Sure, for the collection. Trickster Gods. Craven Hulk I have not loved in these decks. The more Axguard Cavalries you have, which is a card I do like a whole lot, the better that Hulks get, which is a great reason to take Cavalries early, because Craven becomes a good pickup for you, and you can get it super late. And we're going to take it here. I'm just not super in love with it. Smashing Success. Yeti, a late Seize we might play. So, you know, the packs kind of dried up for us, and I think as just a little bit of variance in terms of what was opened, but our pool looks good to me. The only thing that's missing is more 2-drops. So that Gold Vein pick, again, sort of feeling like really the only different choice I would have made, and I don't know if it's going to impact this draft in a huge, huge way, but I think we'd certainly be playing it, and we ended up with a ton of 3s, and I could see cutting a Starnheim Courser from this pool. So for whatever that's worth, it's really the only place, Chop, that I see a difference. So let's see what the deck ended up looking like. So playing all of our 1s. Looks like we're playing all of our 2s. I think the Immersturm Raider would have looked pretty good here. We might have even been able to go down to 15 land, having very few 4-drops. I would like to see the Oracle come in over Goldmot Champion. Champion to me has not really been that great, and I think the double spell potential with Spirit's pretty important. Another card you might consider running would be Valkyrie's Sword. Not sure what we would cut. Could be a Run Amok. Could be Rune of Sustenance. And I would definitely be playing Rune of Speed over Rune of Sustenance. The power boost is super impactful. The fact that you can slap it on a helm and now equip 1, your creature gets haste, you're slamming them. So if you do get into a sort of a board stall spot and you draw something like Starnheim Courser or Battlefield Raptor, and that could get you in for your last 2-3 points of damage, but you got to wait a turn cycle to be able to attack with it. It gives them a chance to draw a removal spell or whatever. I think Rune of Speed is going to be better for you than Rune of Sustenance. Maybe you play them both because you got Cole, but what's our creature count looking like? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16-ish. Not too bad. So, you know, we could cut a 3-drop like a Starnheim Courser or a Goldmot Champ to put in the Rune. So maybe we cut both of the tappers to put in Oracle and Rune, and then maybe you cut White Rune for Valkyrie's Sword. I kind of like that with a double Courser in the deck, but, you know, that could be up to you. And then, yeah, the only other thing I'm seeing is maybe we cut Craven Hulk and cut a land and bring in, like, I mean, then we're definitely playing both runes at that point. You know, just not having 5-drops in the deck is pretty nice. Or not having 4-drops, rather, in the deck is pretty nice because you can get away with cutting lands. So those are my thoughts on the build. I think maybe that's the spot in the draft where we could have done a little bit better. But I really like the way that Chopped navigated this draft. So I think this deck is good, and probably just a little bit of variance in the matches that had it go 2 and 3. So those are my thoughts on the draft. Thank you as always for watching. If you'd like to submit a draft log, you can do so in my Discord channel, which is linked in the description below, or you can leave it in the comments. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.